But I would tell you this. I'd rather in that situation be able to articulate on the stand that I brandish that firearm in defense of myself and that I put it in a high compressed ready or position sul. And that have worked because of the analysis that I made. That one, I am not a trained fighter. I'm not saying me, but I'm just making the argument. One, I am not a trained fighter. Two, Chapter 720, Illinois Compiled Statutes, Act 5, Section 7-1, which is the statute enacted by the Illinois General Assembly, legislators, who most of them are lawyers. That law does not require that I become a trained boxer or a trained person skilled in hand-to-hand combat. The law does not require that I have this type of training as a part of my ability to be able to carry a firearm and use it in a trained manner to stop a deadly attack, both armed and unarmed. That could happen. The law does not require that. Also, I know that I'm not a fighter. I know the law doesn't require that. And when I pulled that firearm, remember, in your assessment, there is the act, the actus reus, right? And then there is the mens rea, the mental state. Did I pull that firearm? Yes, I did. That is the actus reus, which is the act itself. But then there's the mens rea, which is Latin for the guilty mind. So what was my intent at the time? My intent was not to meet the definition of aggravated assault. Illinois 720 Illinois Compiled Statutes, Act 5, Section 12-2, right? It was not my intention to, under the laws of this state of Illinois, it was not my intention to place that person in reasonable apprehension of receiving a battery without lawful justification thereafter, or while doing so, using a firearm, which would be the aggravating factor in that case. It was not my intent criminally to make that person fear for their life without lawful justification. It was my intent to make them fear for their life with lawful justification, because that one person was bigger than me. That one person displayed a skill set and displayed a manner of aggression that made me believe that I was going to be harmed. And not just a simple slap in the face, not just a simple punch for what is a simple slap, for what is a simple punch. You don't know it was a simple slap until after you were slapped. You don't know it was a simple punch until after you review the footage and saw it was a simple punch. You don't know when the fight is going to be over until after you watch the video and assess that the fight was over. There is no way to tell, and nor did the assailant say that I am going to hit you in the face only once. Okay, well, if you're going to hit me in the face only once, I can handle that. Let me get hit in the face only once. Is it going to be a hard punch or is it going to be a soft punch? Where are you going to punch me? Are you going to punch me in the thigh? Are you going to punch me in the deltoid? Are you going to punch me in the bicep, the tricep, the forearm? Are you going to punch me in the stomach? Are you going to punch me in the kidneys? Are you going to punch me in the temple? Are you going to punch me in my nose? Are you going to punch me in my eye? This person did not indicate the speed with which they would punch. They did not indicate the manner in which they would punch. They did not indicate the technique that they would use to deploy that punch for me to further assess the speed and the damage that could occur. There's no way I would have known that it would have been simple until I allowed him to make that punch, at which point in time I have no guarantee that he would deploy that punch in that manner. For if such were the case, that would be him definitely outlining his criminal intent to do so, because he took methodical steps in telling me the manner in which he was going to punch. So because these are the unknowns, I am unable to make the assessment that the punch was going to be a soft and simple punch, that it was going to be a soft and simple slap. You don't know the fight's over until it's over, and I can't determine when that may be. So because I don't know when that may be, but I do know that I may be powerless against it, I pulled my firearm. And in pulling my firearm, I did not point the muzzle toward that person. I presented the ability to use imminent death, or use this tool to cause imminent death or great bodily harm, by leveling the playing field of skill, which I don't have, but I have a tool that allows me to level that playing field in meeting that skill. And I provided verbal direction: back off, don't want to fight, leave me alone. I speak peace. I don't want any issues. And thereafter, this person continued to walk towards me, where either if I'm in a stand your ground state, I had no way to run or leave, and I didn't have a legal requirement to do so, or if I'm in a state that doesn't have stand your ground, I could not retreat, and the law would not require me to reasonably retreat under those circumstances. See, I find it troubling, and I'm at my destination, but I find it troubling when lawyers tell you you don't pull your firearm because you're afraid of being beat up. That is absolutely not true. That is absolutely not true. That's absolutely not true.